We turn to Windy, Brian Windhorst. Listen, who's not happy for a franchise that was rock bottom for so long, and it's a great tale. But what do you read into a team expending so much energy in a 5-game victory? It's still the first round, guys.
What we have here, Bob, is a grade A, honeymoon experience. The Sixers haven't been here in a while. Everything they're doing is expectation free. Their guys are doing it for the first time. We see this rolling over the years with teams. Right now, I think they're experiencing that a little bit in Utah as well. They haven't had success in a while, and their fans are just beside themselves for first-round wins. And what I'd say is two things. One, enjoy it, Philadelphia, because it will not feel this way in the future when you're expected to roll through first-round opponents. And be mindful that adversity will come. We may not be able to see it, but I promise you adversity will come at some point in this postseason.
I don't think we've ever had a moment at a professional sporting event that equates to the scene of Meek Mill last night. The entire tableau of his release from prison, exactly, being transported by a helicopter, coming to the game, ringing the bell, and the empathy that was there for him in the arena and with everyone around the sport. It was an astonishing scene.
Yeah, it was a glorious moment, and, as you mentioned, it's something that you normally would see in June, and the fact that all this is happening to them now, and not only that, Bob, they can see the other scores. They can see the other series in the East, that there's some teams struggling there, teams that they didn't think they could be at the beginning of the season that they now see weakness in. They can smell it, and that is feeding into this as well. But at some point, they will run into some issues, and how they tackle those issues will determine where they're going this season. But I must say, this team, as young as they are and as inexperienced as they are, they have continued to impress me with the way they've handled doing things for the first time.
Yeah, Coach Brown doing something correctly. From a young team to a team that's old and some would say too old, let's talk about the Spurs. Item one, of course, if they're going to maintain a center of gravity on this team, is Kawhi Leonard. They've got to get right with Kawhi if they want to, and they've got to look at what $219 million could cost them. How do they navigate this in the next few months?
Yeah, well, we also have a difficulty with Greg Popovich. We don't know where his head is at going forward. He's got to make some decisions. We all feel for him.
God bless his family.
But yes, of course, at some point they're going to have a discussion and sit down. And actually, this is actually pretty simple, Bob. Either the Spurs will offer the full max of $219 million or not, and Kawhi will either sign it or not. If the answer is no to either of those questions, he's probably going to get traded. And if that answer comes in the short term here, we're going to see a change in the balance of power in the NBA and an all-out scramble to get him. But it's so much money. I still feel like cooler heads will prevail here. Players crawl over glass to get to the Spurs. Here's a guy who can get the most money with a great organization. And if he believes that they're going to remain a great organization, I can't see why they can't get past their differences. I want to go back to the top of our show, because you and I were chatting before we went on. With your knowledge and context around the NBA, in about 30 seconds, reaction to the Rice Commission report, maybe a letdown, maybe higher expectations. What was the expectation, and what's the feeling right now? Well, the NBA was determined to let the Rice Commission play out and then to make their own decisions. And with what looks like a tepid recommendation, I expect the NBA to swoop in and start making changes. The one-and-done rule will definitely be going away. They'll find a way with the union to establish a new rule. And I expect the NBA to fill the vacuum that the college is leaving in the high school ranks. The NBA will be getting involved again with high school players, having a relationship with them, and getting in position to make a decision on them when they turn 18 years old. The NBA is very powerful. They've been a partner with sort of a backseat partner with college basketball for a long time. They're getting ready to move into the front seat. Will everything they do be right? No. They're going to make mistakes along the way, but they're moving into the driver's seat very shortly.